All right, so welcome to today's podcast. I'm your host, Scott Engler, author, coach, and consultant for contemporary job search strategies. And today is a topic I really want to address to people that are either passive or active candidates and putting together a resume, and maybe they haven't done so in a while. It's called customizing your resume for an audience of recruiters. So the reason I'm talking about customizing it for a particular audience is for a few reasons. The first one I'm going to go over briefly is that there's definitely two types of resumes that people would want to have. And the first one is customized for what's called applicant tracking systems. And just to touch briefly on that, if you're not familiar with what those are those machines that read keywords and filter through resumes electronically and either accept or reject resumes based on the criteria that the company puts into these applicant tracking systems. Now, that is a whole different science, and what would go into that is going to be different for people who are submitting resumes that are primarily going to be looked at by recruiters. So the first difference, which hopefully you guys can make this distinction, is recruiters are human beings and applicant tracking systems are not. So it's always important, when I've done workshops and talked to people, been doing this for a long time now, is know your audience, right? Because people always want to know, well, what should my resume look like for this? And people always want to know the right or wrong way for resumes. The truth is, what most people don't want to hear, there is no right or wrong way. It's really, if I could pinpoint one thing, it's understanding who is going to be looking at it and what they might be looking for and what you could do to stand out in a way that's going to be attractive and effective to get their interest, so they want to talk to you more, right? So here's a few stats to just consider when you're making your resume, and I can't stress this enough. Recruiters are human beings, and they typically spend about 6 seconds on a resume. And the reason that they have to scan resumes that fast is because they generally have about 300 candidates to sift through to fill a position in a specific time frame. And they don't have the time to process every single word on your resume. So it's important to understand this. Recruitment, in fact, is an industry where once the economy went down, a lot of recruiters had to leave their positions because they couldn't do it full time anymore. So it's kind of like other industries where now the recruiters that are standing have bigger caseloads than ever, right? More contracts, more companies, more positions to fill. So the demands on them are extremely high. So they have to be this efficient in order to basically carry out the job that they're given, right? In the time frame that they're given. And understanding this, the first thing I would recommend is shorten your resume. They are not going to look at all 10 pages of your resume. The best slogan that I tell people, I look at resumes all day long on recruiter.com and I see the same mistakes over and over again, is consider this slogan: less is more. Putting 30 skills down on your resume, I can't even really read that. And I forgot what my score was, but like my speed of reading and comprehension is pretty high. I can't read through 30 skills and retain that information in 6 seconds. That's just the skills. Stick to 5, 3 even better. Be specific. Tell me exactly what you want to do and what kind of company you want to do it. Highlight your achievements at the top. Make it engaging. So things have shifted in this industry, right? It's, the jargon and the language that we've been taught to use on resumes, I personally believe isn't effective in the same way anymore. The reason why is because we have an information digital overload. Every human being I know that has some capacity or component of their job dealing with computers is experiencing the same thing. We are being bombarded with information I can't think of the word, a lot higher than we have been. And the number keeps getting more and more and more. So when you're using kind of, like I joke around like it's like a cardiologist report, when you're using terminology that's kind of nebulous or very broad, stop doing that. It doesn't work anymore. Speak to me like a human being. Speak to me and say, I have this experience and expertise in digital marketing. I love working for organizations that are focused on this and this and this. And then have some bullet points. Raised $5 million for a Fortune 500 company from 2007 to 2015. Blah, blah, blah. Bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. 3 to 5, max. Get to the point. Tell me the more you could be specific of exactly what it is you do, why you do it, who you're going to contribute to, right? It's like going back to the basics of elementary school. The who, what, why, where, how, and when. Do that. Focus on that. Make it short and sweet. You don't have to list the last 10 jobs you've had over the last 20 years because truthfully, nobody cares about that. Summarize it. Over 30 years of experience in digital marketing. Put the 3 companies, 1, 2, 3 companies. If they want to know more, they know more. They're not stupid. If you list your work experience from like 2017 to 2012, they will understand intuitively that you had jobs before 2012 when you put over 30 years experience, right? And when they want more information, they will ask for it. So again, less is more. Make it short, to the point. Really, it's like I look at it almost like if anyone has experience as being an entrepreneur, it's like an elevator pitch, right? You have 45 seconds in an elevator pitch to convince a person of why they should be interested in whatever it is that you're trying to create, your company, your product. And then if they want more information, they will ask for it. So get to the point, specify exactly what it is you do. I can't tell you this enough. People that are putting 30 skills and they're trying to throw up as much, flies against the wall and see what sticks. It doesn't work in recruiting because they don't have the time to call 300 candidates and ask them what they meant on this. They're just going to find the person that is being clear, and then they're going to submit that resume to the company. That is the way it works. So if you're listening to this today, I really, really encourage you to take this information. Again, this isn't like a theory. These are the things, like I speak to recruiters all the time. I work as a consultant for recruiter.com. I see resumes all the time. I'm seeing the trends and what works and doesn't work. I understand the dynamics on a recruiter's end of what they are experiencing and have to go through. And I know firsthand because I've had to do some recruiting myself. And if I don't clearly understand what it is you do and what you're wanting to do and who you would be a good fit for, then I don't have the time to figure that out. I'm just going to move on to the next person. That's really the way it is. And so I really, try to encourage people when I work with them or speak to them to get more clear and specific. And again, less is more. If a company wants more information, they will ask for it. And that's the time when you get in the interview and you could expand on things. Just get to the point, highlight your major achievements and milestones, highlight the things that your audience would want, right? If you're looking for a certain company, what is going to impress them? What is going to stand out? What is going to think about what, their needs are, right? Put yourself in their shoes and what they're most looking for. Start thinking in those types of terms, not just about like what you want and what you've done and listing every single thing. What do they want and how is your experience, talents, skills, how does that uniquely match what their needs are? Start thinking in those kind of terms, and I promise you will start seeing better results. If you are looking for more help in this area, I do help people as a part of a more comprehensive service with their resumes, their LinkedIn profile, job search strategies, interviewing skills, the whole shebang, including customized searches for my clients on recruiter.com, only for them, for the clients that do work with me one-on-one. So if that's something that is of interest to you, you could find me on LinkedIn, Scott Engler, Engler, in Corvallis, Oregon, or you could send me an email, buildingyourownbrand@gmail.com. Once again, that's buildingyourownbrand@gmail.com. Thanks so much.